Hello. Welcome to the Goods. I know that you have been looking at us wearing our Fly Goods podcast gear and wondering where can we get those. Well, guess what? We have the answers for you. We have it here, Teespring. Go to Teespring and you will find all of this glorious merchandising, from t-shirts to mugs to, well, there's other toys, but we can't talk about that now. Go to Teespring. Enjoy our memorabilia.
And we're back. All flesh, no substance. All right. So, surprise! When we were just looking for you on the back of a milk carton, we do get Art back here in the Boom Boom Room. Good to see you back here, sir.
Good to be back.
All right, great. So, we got a good one for you today as far as the top 5. Since it is Texas and it is the middle of summer, well, beginning of summer since it's already June, and it is about hell-like temperatures here, I figured we could do a top 5 of summer films.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, all right, so
it's so hot right now, at least where we're at, that there's nothing to do except watch TV.
Except watch TV, because you don't go outside. It's basically, if you ever seen, like, Chronicles of Riddick, when he went outside and it would just melted everything, and it was like you had to hide in the shade or you had to go underground. That's what Texas life is like. All right, so, Art, go first.
All right. I would say no particular order, but this is top 5, so there is a particular order.
No particular order, but 5 through 1.
First one I'm going to go with, I'm going to throw a curveball.
Number 5
is The Notebook.
Oh, God, you would pick The Notebook.
You know, I love rom-coms and I love romantic movies.
Pick The Notebook.
The Notebook. It's a great movie.
It's a sad movie, sir. Grown men cry to this film. Don't be putting hearts to him from the back. No. Go explain your Notebook pick.
It's always been you. All right, that's one of my favorite lines.
You know what? I refuse to watch that movie because I don't want to cry. I like watching a film and not getting all the feels for it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
What's his name? Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. And who else is in it? That girl.
Yeah, I want to say Amy Adams, but
is it Amy Adams?
Yeah, it is Amy Adams.
Who is it?
No.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. That girl. I said it right. That girl.
I was thinking Adam.
I said
anyway,
it right.
I would just watch it for Ryan Gosling.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I just got through watching Drive. Who doesn't?
So yeah, I mean, they had good chemistry on the film. That's what really sold it.
Yeah. You feel like one of those things where like maybe they dated afterwards, and it's like the chemistry was so real.
Yeah. You kind of thought maybe that's what was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, but then he knocked up Eva Mendes, so whatever. Number 4!
Hold on one second, because I can't read my own writing. I'm going to go with The Sandlot.
Good pick!
Number 4.
Good pick.
Yeah. Sandlot, there's so many. Forever.
Yeah. Sick balls.
Yeah, it's one of those films, you can show it to your kids. It's timeless. It really, it's not a dated film where they didn't use trendy things that it's happening when it was filmed. Yeah. It really is, I won't even say coming of age.
Was it a period film when it even came out? Like, no. So, I thought it came out like in the 90s. But it was based on like the 80s. It
was based in early 80s maybe.
Because I felt like it was somebody's childhood growing up. By the way, I love this film too. I'm sorry to mean to cut you. I love this film too because I played a lot of like, especially like empty field, old baseball field, and it's like, so I just related to this movie from my own childhood when I saw it. I was like, yes, I understand all of these things, and the evil dog that wants to bite you. Go on.
Okay. Number 3 is an all-time classic. Now, this movie barely makes the cut as a summer movie.
Really?
Dazed and Confused.
Does it?
It takes place the first night of summer. It takes place the first night of summer.
I guess, because they're doing a little... I guess.
It's the first night. Party at the Moon Tower.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the first night of summer. It doesn't have to take place throughout the entire summer.
We'll allow it, sir. We'll allow it.
But,
It's a great film. Obviously, Matthew McConaughey,
all right.
got his big break there, and it was like. But I challenge people to say anything outside of that movie that didn't involve Matthew McConaughey.
Check you later.
Never mind. You win, sir. You win.
Or the mom pulling out the shotgun when Ben Affleck's character goes to the door.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll give it to you.
Right.
You're a Dazed and Confused fan.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right. I give it to you.
I got a few in, right? Like,
I mean, I feel like
I came here to smoke pot and drink beer. Is that all right with you?
I feel like, well, it was a period thing at the time that it came out, so I guess I could still kind of do that movie again. But it was like it's had so many things that are kind of deemed wrong now.
I won't say so much as that it's deemed wrong. It's that the generation now wouldn't appreciate some of just like hanging out. There's no such thing. You don't like kids. You know, my daughter's getting close to that age. Mm-hmm. They don't cruise. They don't go around and just drive around, listen to music, and hang out.
Right,
you know, it's all their, on their phones.
Spotify.
Yeah, TikTok.
There you go.
Like, what can I do?
Where's the TikTok version of this movie?
Yeah. So there's something that was lost. I don't want to say it's a period piece because it is, but it wasn't. I mean, that's what even us growing up, there was something about just getting in the car and just listening to music, driving with your friends because you have nothing else to do.
And being an older man checking out high school girls.
Well, I'm not. I'm saying that was their age, not Matthew McConaughey's age.
Number 2, or is that number 3?
That was number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2. This was a toss-up. It was very close between this and number 1.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Karate Kid Part 2.
It did happen. Oh my God, I forgot about that one. It did happen over the summer because he went to Japan with Mr. Miyagi. That's a good pick. That is a great pick, sir.
I mean, it takes place over the summer.
Yeah.
It's in Japan.
I don't know why I forgot about that. It literally takes place over the summer. Good picks. I don't even look. Karate Kid 2. The most underrated of Karate Kid films. I mean, it's way better than Karate Kid 4.
It's better than 3, 4. The Karate Kid Next Generation.
Yeah, because that was 4 with what's her name from the 30 the Parent Trap one, or not Parent Trap, but the Body Swap one. But yeah, so 4 is the worst one. But yeah,
it's
so
better
I
than
mean,
3.
Debatable, sir.
No,
because I will say that the villain in 3 was the best villain, better than Johnny. I said it. Better than Johnny.
Well, because Johnny wasn't the villain in the film. He was just a guy defending his honor. Ralph Macchio was the real villain. He stuck his nose into people's business that it didn't belong.
He's a big supporter of Cobra Kai.
Well, I mean, but the truth is, everything is accurate on that. All right.
It is.
So, but Karate Kid Part 2, he was actually the hero. He didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
He stuck
he
his
stole
neck.
somebody else's girl again.
No, she was single. The guy just had a crush on her.
I mean,
he was just.
She said she was single.
What else are you gonna base it off?
She said she was
Hey,
single.
if he really liked her,
if a dude is ready to kill for you, I don't think she was single, man.
Well, he was ready to kill too. Well, he was ready to die for her. Right.
By the way, if I'm going to Japan and I just met this chick, hey, look, it ain't that serious. I'm not moving here. I'm gone in August.
I won't even say when you were in high school because he was already in college. Remember? He had graduated high school and he was.
I'm gone in August. It's not that serious. There's other Japanese chicks here. I can find one.
Right. You bring a greater shame to family.
Yeah, because he left her anyway. It didn't even matter. He left her anyway.
Anything. We also found out that Sato was the real badass.
He was. He was.
Yeah, he was rich.
Yeah.
She a self-made millionaire.
She picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
She picked the wrong guy.
Okay.
Number 1.
And I have to go with this because it's an all-time classic, and it's the number 1 movie, Holiday Road.
There you go.
National Lampoons.
Good job, sir.
Dude, that is like from the get-go. The movie's just funny. Now,
no, it's absolutely from the very beginning.
One of the sad scenes that's funny to me because I have a morbid sense of humor is when they get pulled over and asking why there's a dog leash tied to the bumper of a car. Now you got to remember this is in like the 80s when it was a lot of like people now with PETA would be like, that's cool, that's you know, but
well, they just tied him because they didn't want him to go anywhere. They just forgot to take him off the leash.
and then there were, there was jokes about Rusty masturbating.
Yeah.
You get introduced to all the characters. It was just a really funny.
Just the fact that, one, it took place over summer, but it also gave you the whole road trip vibe. I mean, well, it was a road trip, and it was like, if you ever grew up and you took family road trips, I mean, basically, you got all that stuff. Stopping at these weird little places your parents want to show to you, not being able to really be comfortable, and you're like really dying to get where you're at, just so you can have some fun and relax. Making a trip to your
staying at a place that you think your parents would think that it was cool to stay at, and then you're like, this is miserable. Like when they stayed at the teepees. Because I find myself trying to do that. Yeah, visiting relatives when you realize, like, dang, I would have had more fun not staying with them.
Yeah, dude, it's like if I could just stayed home, I'd have had way, way, way more fun. All right.
Yeah, so National Lampoons. I mean, Chevy Chase. There's very few movies that he's made that I do not like, and that's a whole different conversation. But this is a movie that I think is iconic. His character.
No, I mean, how many sequels did we get for this movie? It actually spun itself off into like
a franchise.
Yeah, like a franchise that like it doesn't even involve the whole road trip and family thing, where like you got all the college ones and. It became like its own genre, its own comedy genre, anything that was made by National Lampoons. So yes, sir, that is a great number one for your top 5. So I think that's pretty good. I have no complaints with your top 5.
Even The Notebook.
I mean, I'm not gonna watch The Notebook. if I like said something about The Notebook, the comments will blow up, and I'm not gonna watch The Notebook. But 4, 3, 1, perfect. All right, so. I, in my top 5, went a little different because I figured there was going to be some of the classics in your top 5. So I wanted to do something that probably should be considered summer movies now, but definitely meet the criteria. So, number 5. This is where you guys give me shit already. I went Baywatch. That's right, I said it, Baywatch. I love Baywatch.
Well, you love Zac Efron.
I do love Zac Efron. I love Zac Efron. I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I love Andrew Daddario. Alexander. Anyway, so this movie is way underrated for a comedy film.
A comedy
and a I want to say reboot, but like a movie transition of a TV property. Because we had like the Dukes of Hazzard, we had like 21 Jump Street.
Well, the thing about Baywatch,
underrated. This is great. This is great.
The thing about Baywatch, it is actually a very underrated comedy.
Yes.
It's really extremely
The
funny.
Rock giving Zac Efron so many crap, never saying his name right, calling him every white person he could think of. Hilarious.
But one of the things about this movie that I think people don't realize is that they just used Baywatch, the name, and the setting.
They were like, hey, this will sell tickets.
This is not a serious movie.
This is a regular comedy that we were doing. It's like
Baywatch had Baywatch Nights, where they thought they were taking themselves like serious.
It's like we're really solving crimes now.
Yeah, we're lifeguards, but we're changing the world, right? Like Baywatch took itself more serious than any other show that I can recall. Like they really thought like this is like.
By the way, they referenced a lot of that. So it's like the fact that he took things serious and solving crimes, and it was like, so they kind of dealt with the Baywatch. Look, the movie's great. If you haven't seen Baywatch with The Rock and Zac Efron and
I'm sorry, I started getting a tangent on Baywatch.
Mr. Dario. If you haven't seen it, definitely go ahead and see it. The first time you watch it, you'll fall in love with this film. It is a great comedy. You'll laugh from beginning to end. And it does have your cameos in it. Probably they could have done without it, but if you want to talk about the fact of slapping a name on something and it becoming iconic, look, 10 Cloverfield Lane was not a Cloverfield film. They slapped Cloverfield on it to make sure it sold, and it's a great film. This is one of those films where like it was a good comedy, but they wanted to make sure they sold tickets and they slapped Baywatch on it. So it doesn't matter. It took place in the summer. It took place on a beach, man. That's a summer film. Number 4. I went with, this is a newer film, but I feel like it is a really good film, and it kind of recognizes summer, kind of creepy summer, but it recognizes summer, and kind of in the name too, Midsummer. Have you seen it yet?
No.
It is and I want to say this, And I put this one on it besides putting something else on it, and you're gonna figure out why I didn't put the other thing on it. This one gives you a big Wicker Man vibe. Okay. Nicolas Cage is going investigating this cult and stuff like that, and up for this missing girl, and then he gets involved in the cult and becomes a sacrifice. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Wicker Man. Midsummer is quite like that, except these group of friends decide to go visit one of their friends' family over in Sweden. And then the family's like a little weird, and it turns out it's some type of like summer cult. And they have like this little festival, and just like the Wicker Man, people are getting sacrificed. So it's really, really crazy. The only reason why I didn't put Wicker Man, because I know what you guys are saying, well, why did you just put Wicker Man? Because if it's just Wicker Man, why don't you do Wicker Man? Because Wicker Man didn't take place in the summer. That's the reason why Wicker Man's not on my list.
Okay, I can see that.
Wicker Man did take place in the summer, and Wicker Man took place in the fall.
I do want you to know you're talking more about the Wicker Man than
I'm saying why I like this film, because it gives me Wicker Man vibes. But it's a great film. It starts off where it's just like fun, and they're like enjoying this countryside in the middle of nowhere. By the way, as a black person, I would never go to this place, but I can see why people would enjoy it. And then just things keep ramping up and getting crazier, and like creepier than crazier than like what is going on in this film. I'm not gonna spoil it like I just spoiled with Wicker Man, but if you've seen Wicker Man, you kind of know what happens in this one.
So Wicker Man is your
watch Wicker Man and
four,
just
really.
and pretend it's summer.
Okay. Yeah, not a very strong argument for being a number 4.
It's still a good film.
When you're referencing an entirely different movie and talking more about that movie than this movie.
It's still a good film. All right, number 3. All right, so here's where we're gonna cross paths here, sir. I went National Lampoon's Vacation. Just like we talked before, I loved everything that you said about this film. It's a family film, it's a road trip film, it's a summer vacation film. It's everything. It talks about parentage, it talks about like growing up as kids, dealing with everything, and the comedy in this film from beginning to end is amazing. And I mean, it got multiple sequels. Like they started just doing vacations for everything. Christmas vacation, European vacation. Any vacation with this particular family set in it, I think they did change the son once. I think they changed the. No, it was a daughter. They changed the daughter, I believe. Put in the comments. I can't remember. But it's a great film, and just like everything you said, I love this movie. And we're gonna move on. So I'm gonna repeat the same stuff you said.
Well, I do want to talk one thing about National Lampoons that we didn't before. On
Vegas Vacation.
On Vegas Vacation, that we did it. Was that there was, and maybe I'm wrong, but there was something about traveling somewhere, looking forward to to a theme park, like there was so much buzz and excitement. I think we've become now this generation, and now I've become numb to like an excitement of going to the theme park. It's like, we'll go. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
So when I was in Detroit, we used to take trips to Cedar Point, which was a theme park in Sandusky, Ohio. Which is probably about like a 3-hour drive. Like back in the day when Astroworld used to be around, it was like taking a trip from San Antonio to Houston to go to Astroworld. It was that kind of trip. Cedar Point was like, it had all the best rides. We even had our own amusement park, but I was like, let's go to Cedar Point. So the excitement of getting there, because you're like, you want to be on the best ride, the biggest rides, all the stuff that they talk about in the commercials they sell you as a kid, basically brainwashing you. So this film definitely reminds me of those things and that experience. So yeah, I definitely get why it has ingrained itself into my memory. But for you guys too, I'm sure you guys have all experienced the same thing. All right. Number two. I went with it. I was waiting for your response on it. Look, the film takes place over the summer.
Does it?
It does.
Does it?
It absolutely does.
Which part?
I mean, the first part takes place over summer. I don't know what the second part. The second part, they kind of get. I don't know what the time frame is to say, but the first part definitely takes place over the summer. Okay. It's like a whole summer thing. So I mean, it's basically Stand By Me vibes, but it's written by the same writer, so you can't complain about it. So Stand By Me and both Stephen King films, so he can copy himself. By the way, Stand By Me is not on my list.
It wasn't on my list, obviously.
But the whole camaraderie you have with kids on your own age when you guys get your summer vacation, and the things that you guys do, and the creepy stuff that you guys like. when I was a kid, we really did investigate abandoned houses. We did kind of like ride our bikes everywhere we went. So I mean, it was a replay of my childhood.
I can see it, like you, and then you. I mean,
we didn't have a clown that was killing us and stuff like that.
No, but you always like challenged each other for like something scary when you're with your riding your bikes, and it was the freedom of just.
And if you ever lived in Detroit, there's a bunch of burnt out abandoned houses that you plenty to explore. We're like, hey, let's go check in there. Let's go see what's going on. Let's try not to die today. Not from a clown, but from like maybe a condemned building falling on us, or maybe some homeless drug addict killing us. I'm sure that's even scarier. But the film itself, that's why that film did so well. That's why I got a remake, which the remake is the one I'm talking about anyway, is because everybody knew that childhood from that era. And it's like, that's how we grew up, that's how we lived. So just by itself, you felt like you were one of those characters. And the whole fear of facting that there was a murderous alien clown that was coming to get you. Hey, great movie.
Okay.
Number one.
All
right, so I had to go this particular one because I felt it was obvious, and it felt like this was the first time I really saw something that made me not want to do something for summer. Jaws. I thought you were gonna say it.
Oh no! I wasn't certain.
Like no,
I didn't know where you were going with that.
It didn't make me not want to hang out for the summer. You know, hey, Midsummer. I mean, I wasn't gonna go hang out in Sweden anyway, and it was like, a bunch of white people in the middle of nowhere where I can't get a cell signal. Pfft, crazy. Jaws made me not want to go to a beach. It's like, hey, it's summertime. Let's go to a beach. Nah.
As someone,
man. There's.
As someone who does open water swimming, and I love doing open water swimming, that has never even crossed my mind when I'm out there alone with just my goggles, looking into the deep.
Two things. I went to Miami one time. I was on the beach. I was about to get in the water. I actually saw a shark. I'm screaming on the beach, "Get out! Get out!" There was a guy that was walking along the beach. He worked for the hotel we were at, and I was like, "Hey, dude, is that a shark?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, it is. Y'all gonna do something?" And he walked on.
Yeah.
Get out! Get out! By the way, I grew up in Detroit. There's no sharks there. Why was I even scared? There's no shark there. I'm gonna go to the river. I'm not even going to the ocean.
I'm in South. I'd be more scared of what's in the river than I am in the ocean.
Very true. Very true. There's probably bodies there.
There's tons of bodies.
Probably bodies there. But yeah, this film scared me on so many levels. It made me not want to go to the beach. So it took that off the table. It was like, hey, we're gonna go to the beach for summer. And I'm like, no, we're not. Nah, it's a great film. Steven Spielberg did a great job with this film.
I mean, there's a reason why this Jaws was, and still is, but when it first came out, even for 10 years, Jaws was just, it set the bar for so many movies.
Yeah.
I mean, just the noise.
Set the bar for themselves because I don't think any of those were good afterwards.
What, the Meg? Hello?
Not Jaws fan. And many would argue Jaws 2 is just as good as Jaws 1. Then
no, it's not.
He's wrong. Or Jaws. No, I'm sorry. Jaws 3. No, Jaws the Revenge.
There's no Jaws that's better than the first. But no,
Jaws the Revenge.
Jaws said, like, when have you before? I mean, and watching the behind the scenes and stuff. Before Jaws, what sound brought fear? Just the sound, not even not music. Dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. And that sound, it's not the sound that a fish makes. No, but which one came out first?
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
No, Jaws did.
79. Where's Manny for this? But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not even a sound that a fish would make or anything in the ocean would make.
I know. Wow. Why did that terrify us?
But that
nothing
sound,
would make that sound.
But that sound is so it's iconic. Like da da da.
For years, I thought sharks made that sound. You hear the music? It's a shark coming. It's a shark coming. All right, sir. Honorable mentions. What do you got? I got a bunch. What do you got?
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver. Okay.
And then let me just put a reason why I didn't make my top 5.
Okay.
As great as this movie was, my friends and I growing up always rode bikes. There was no way I could go out of town without my parents knowing riding our bikes in the middle of the woods. Like,
dude, can you? I mean, if you could do it before the streetlights came on, I could get away with it.
Yeah, but they went overnight.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
they're like, dude,
no.
Hey man, the streetlight's about to come on. I gotta go home. I don't care what we at. I gotta go home.
That's when the streetlights came on. That's what time you knew you had to be home. So yeah, there's no way. That's why I didn't make my top 5. As awesome as it is. What's another one? Hold on. I just had it. I can't read my own writing. Right, Forgive me.
While you're looking at that, I had Sandlot like you had on your list. I had Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee. I mean, it was like the hottest summer that they had in New York, and it was like, obviously it was dealing with a whole lot of political and racist and things and stuff like that. But great film. It did take place over summer. I also had I Know What You Did Last Summer. Because it had summer in the name. Yeah. and one of my favorites is White Man Can't Jump, because I always figure out how to work it into one of these top 5s.
Okay, so another one that I really did enjoy, and it is all about summer.
You didn't do 500 Days of Summer. I thought you were going to do 500 Days Summer.
Yeah, that's on my honorable mention.
Okay, there we go.
It's all about summer.
All about summer, okay.
500 Days of Summer. Once again, I'm a sucker for romantic movies.
That's why I wasn't on my list, because I wasn't gonna do any of them. I flirted with Adventureland, but I felt like there was too much kind of romance in Adventureland. Flirted with Adventureland. Didn't.
And last one, honorable mention. Then this is why I couldn't read my own writing, and this is not a movie that I would normally watch, but I watched and it wasn't that bad. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I heard that was a pretty good film. I felt like that was a.
It's not a genre.
I wasn't the intended demographic for that one.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see it because it's like, oh, I want to see it. Mm-hmm. No, I saw it was like, okay, we're gonna see this one. Fine, I'll see it. And it wasn't that bad. It was like, could I relate to any of it? No, by no means. No, there's nothing I would be able to relate to.
I mean, there's like a couple of big films.
Guys would even if we somehow wore the same size pants,
it's like
guys would never be like, yeah, man, this is gonna be a pair of pants we're just gonna send to each other and we all wear them, and it's just gonna be something that connects us all.
No. That's gross. How do you ladies do that? That's gross.
That's kind of weird.
Other films I couldn't relate to, Hostel I Got a Rue Back, Girls Trip, which was funny though. But I'm not a girl and there's a lot of jokes, so it's like, it didn't relate to me enough for me to say put it in my top 5 list. And there was one more. What was the other one?
Oh, last one, Adventureland.
I said it. It's like I felt like it was too much. I felt it was
too. It dragged at times. It and Jesse Eisenberg. He's a great. I like his movies, but this is a movie where he wasn't the star of the movie.
No, of course not. No,
I know he was a central person, but he didn't shine.
He was meant to get people to come buy the tickets, but he was not what they were intending to be. That. All right, so that concludes our top 5 list. Make sure you put your top 5 in the comments below.
Tell us what your top 5 would be. I mean, it'd be interesting to know. There's movies that we missed.
I mean, we missed a bunch. Actually.
We missed a whole bunch. But a lot of them aren't good.
Ooh, shots fired. All right, take us home.
Hey, so once again, don't forget to tell us what you disagreed with him, because his list was pretty crappy. My list was amazing, as always.
He's taking shots at my Midsummer.
As always, don't forget to like us, follow us, do all that good stuff to us.
All right, so for Manny, who's MIA today after he gave Art so much crap last week about him not being here, he's MIA, and we got that one guest appearance for Aspen. So I guess it was 5 years since we saw her on the show again. We will see you guys in 2026 when we actually have Aspen back on the show again. So I'm Terrence.
I'm Art.
And you guys take care.
Real quick, if you're still here, because we do these into the video little blooper things. If you're still here, look down. There's a link here for Patreon. If you guys like the show, please give us money. We'll take a penny. We'll take a nickel. We'll take a dime. We'll take $1. We have some stuff on there that we're giving away on Patreon if you do contribute, because trust me, we need help. We want to buy new equipment, and we need an editor. Somebody who doesn't have to stay up in the middle of the night, or they don't have to stay up in the middle, but I won't have to do it. So please, down patreon.com/thegoods. It's in the link. Please do it. We appreciate it.